Hello everyone, my name is Muir and this is X4 Foundations, and today we're going to be just showing a way that you can very quickly bootstrap yourself. These are all Callisto traders. You can get each of these from the very beginning of the Antigone questline. Antigone? No, the Hatikva's Choice questline, or the Argon questline, as some people will call it. And so that will start around here and in here, and then it will take you all over the place. One of the first parts of that mission is they ask you to take a trader and then go and sell a bunch of medical supplies at a different location, and you get to keep the Callisto trader. So it's just one of those ways that you can get a very cheap, small-sized trader. But what we're going to go over today is how to actually set up trades in the early game to make money. So the first thing you want to be able to do is you want to look at wares. Now, there are graphs that tell you what everything is made of, and that will make a whole lot of sense soon, but we need to go to, say, wares. So, oh, that's great. Okay, let's try hull parts. Okay, cool. We have not discovered hull parts yet. That's fine. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to trade, and we already have hull parts, refined metals, and graphene. And as you can see, in what we can see of the world map, of the galaxy map so far, we can see that there's a lot of stuff for sale, and, well, no graphene for sale. That's a bit of a problem. Our graphene trader might not have... Oh, there's some. But no. Our graphene trader might not have much to do. This is... Huh, maybe they just haven't gotten to where they're producing anything. So we'll just let the game run, and hopefully graphene will show up, but because we have refined metals and hull parts going, we will just get to that now. So what you want to do is you want to click what you're going to turn into, say, your refined metals trader. You can rename these by right-clicking, going to rename, and then renaming them. For refined metals trader, I would usually just shorten it to RMT, refined metals trader. But, oh, okay, so pressing escape is the same as pressing enter. Okay, sounds good.
Identifying criminal vessels.
But for you guys, we're going to keep it as a refined metals trader, just so it's a bit easier to see what's going on. So once you have selected a ship, which is over here, you can press I. You can press the key I, or you can press this button. That will bring up the ship's information pane. From here, you can also change the name here if you want to. But we can see its loadout and everything there. What's important is that we can go to behavior. And there is a specific order that we can give them. It's called repeat orders. It's categorized under advanced because setting it up is a little advanced. But the command is actually super, super simple. So what repeat orders does is it makes the ship just repeat a list of orders indefinitely. So, whenever you... Oh, great. Okay, that worked, I think. Okay, so, it can be really finicky, don't worry. It's just how Yugoslav games are. But, if that really, really bothers you, it'll get better over time. So, okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to buy some wares. So bought wares here means that stations are buying this stuff, and this is what stations are selling. So this is a refined metals trader, so we're going to right click here, and something went wrong. Fantastic start already. Okay, let's click him again. It'd be nice if it wasn't so easy to deselect ships, but it is what it is. Okay, so I think it's working this time. So when you right click here, you should get this menu instead. So, this menu is basically saying this is the maximum price that this ship should buy refined metals for, or whatever good you're buying. We're going to set that to refined metals is 122, and they're selling for 207. So we're going to set it up to 150 just so we can move things. And as you can see here, we have a bunch of things. I'm going to pause it real quick just so we can see what's going on under the hood a little bit. So we have this here. Now I can't change anything, probably because he's undocking. But the moment he's finished undocking, I should be able to modify this. Okay, I should be... Oh, buy. That's right, I need this one. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to get rid of this, because that is saying trade with that one individual station. We don't actually want that. Instead, what we want is we want to say locations, and then we're going to turn that off. And we can now just right-click on sectors. And now they will trade with every station in that sector. No one makes whole parts there. I mean, no one makes refined metals here, and no one makes refined metals there. Good to know. We can't get to Grand Exchange because we haven't discovered it yet. I don't know why we can see it. Okay. So we're going to press escape then, because the only place that we can get refined metals for is in this sector. Now, we want to sell refined metals too. So with that ship selected, we're going to go to refined metals here. We're going to right click, and we're going to say that we want them to sell for at least 151. So we're going to do that. And now we have sell down here. Now, again, it's trying to sell it to just a specific station. We don't actually want that unless you're trying to build faction with someone specifically. So we're going to get rid of that. We're going to hit, and we're going to hit add locations, and we're going to start right clicking on sectors. So there's somebody there who buys refined metals. No one there. Ah, someone here. And someone there. There's a trading station here. They buy everything. That's the nice part. Okay, so he is now set up. So Miss Jennifer Shepherd, or Mr., I'm not going to judge, they are now going to basically just, in this area, between the sectors that, between these they're now going to buy refined metals from this sector, and they're going to sell them for the highest price in these sectors. So they're set up now. They're going to make us steady money. However, we need to go to the next one. So we have a graphene trader. So let's go here, and we are looking for graphene specifically. I like how I got rid of graphene by accident. And as we can see, no one is producing graphene, which means what you would want to do is get on the superhighway and find someone that you can trade with who does produce and sell graphene. And what you would do is you would have this graphene trader buy from that station or those factions and then sell it over here, because here it's going to sell at an extreme profit as a result. So as you can see, graphene sells for 223 credits, and they can probably get it elsewhere for 90, 100 credits. And this is just going to go up, by the way, because what this is telling us is that they do have an amount of graphene in sector right now. However, as they start to run out, this is going to turn into more and more hexes. I think it can go up to 3 or 4. And the more hexes there are, the more demand there is, and the higher this price is going to go. So in this playthrough, I would probably focus on buying lots and lots of graphene. However, since there isn't any here, we're going to look at silicon wafers specifically. And silicon wafers, they're kind of profitable. As you can see here, we buy them for 180 credits, and then we sell them for 367. So we're actually going to rename this guy to Silicon Wafer Trader. And then we're going to start selling. So again, we're going to press I. We're going to go over to repeat orders. Keep in mind, they do need to have at least 1 star in piloting. Now, you can walk around a station and find someone who has 1 star in piloting. That is very easy to do. As you can see, once we get hyperinflation, silicon wafers can go up to like 419 just to buy them from a station. We don't want to pay that much, so we're just going to cap this at, say, 200. And then we're going to hit selling those wafers, and we're going to say we don't want to sell them for any less than, say, 200 and any less than 300, we'll say. Silicon wafers tend to be very profitable because they're used in a lot of things. It's fine if it's... Oh, by the way, you can also just click on this and type stuff in. So if you want to do that instead, you can do that. So what I'd like to do is I like to pause the game and set these both up before anything else. Otherwise, you get that whole array of other ancillary orders or secondary orders to actually go and do the trading itself. And that's kind of a pain. So we're first going to buy, and we're going to make sure we get rid of this so we don't have to do it later. We're going to buy, and we're going to say, okay, does anybody there make them? No. Anybody here? No. Anybody there? Yes. How about here? No. And now we're going to sell them. Again, we're going to get rid of that. And we're going to right-click here. Right-click there. Right. Oh, two sectors have people who will buy this. That's nice. 3. That means we'll probably get a good price. And now, lastly, we're going to go with the hull parts trader. I can almost guarantee you... Well, I don't need to almost guarantee you. There's a wharf here, and there's a shipyard over there. They both use hull parts, and so do various other repair equipment docks. They use hull parts. A lot of people use hull parts. So, okay, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to press I. Actually, we already pressed I. So instead, we already showed the I option. So instead, we're going to press information just for those of you who have skipped ahead beyond that. We're going to go to repeat orders, hit confirm, and we're going to right-click on hull parts to buy those. You can see that hull parts, they don't sell for as much profit as, say, graphene or silicon wafers, but we would like to buy these for at most, say, 200. And don't worry, the more hull parts there are, the lower the prices. Now, usually, if we are selling graphene and refined metals, we end up with a lot of hull parts. The reason for that is refined metals and graphene are used to make hull parts. So you can essentially capitalize on the tier 1 resources to make the tier 2 resource, which would be the hull part. And then you can sell the hull part. Essentially, you're just taking advantage of the entire supply chain to make sure that you are helping that supply chain to function as much as possible and basically just make you as much money as it can. So we're doing hull parts. We already hit this, so we're going to right-click on hull parts. We already did that. We're going to right-click on hull parts over here then, and we want to sell these for no less than, say, 250-ish. This will change over time. These won't change over time. So again, we will get rid of these. So if these values, let's say hull parts get to where they're dirt cheap and you need to move these down or they don't sell anything or buy anything, then you can do that, but you have to do that manually for every single one of these ships that you have. So if you have, say, 10 hull parts medium traders, you have to then go in and modify each and every medium hull parts trader. There are ways to automate this, but it has to do with stations, which we're in the very beginning of the game, so we're not going to be able to do that yet. So we're going to click add and add locations. Then we're going to right click on sectors. These are the people that we will buy hull parts from. And then we will just make sure we have places that we can buy them from. And the equipment dock is there, so we'll definitely be able to buy and sell those there. We'll be able to sell those there as well. Also here, and then also there. As you can see, hull parts are everywhere. So a lot of things require hull parts, so you can very easily build up a lot of stuff. But I'm going to pull up the graph real quick. This is pretty much how you can make a lot of money in the early game. And before you have stations, by the way, this is how you will predominantly get your passive income going. The only real downside to this in terms of making income is that you will lose ships to piracy. So what you'll probably want to do at some point is have your medium traders be escorted by, say, a peregrine or something like that. Some sort of heavy gunboat that you slap plasma onto and that it can just do a lot of damage. You probably want them to have two, so just so you can more guarantee that the trader will survive. And eventually this will turn into you just have a decent number of trade stations, and those trade stations specialize in certain wares to essentially just buy up those wares as quickly as possible and then sell them for a huge profit. So there is that. We will go into that, though. That's a bit more complex, but I'm going to go and pull up that graph. So this will take me a hot second, but for you guys, it will seem instant. All right, so this is the graph that really shows you how everything works. So over here, we have helium, methane, ore, hydrogen, silicon, and nevidium. These are your harvested tier 0 resources. After that, you get things like refined metals. I don't know why it jumps all the way to tier 3, but whatever. So ore is used to make refined metals and is used to make tellurium. So if you make tellati weapons, shipyards, stuff like that, they use tellurium. Everybody else uses refined metals. So just keep in mind, if you're in tellati territory, you'll be buying and trading tellurium instead of refined metals. But they both go over to whole parts anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But okay, so if you are trying to focus on refined metals, you might have a trader, a miner that mines ore, but you don't need to. So you buy the refined metals and you buy the graphene. As you can see over here in whole parts, it needs graphene and it needs refined metals. It also, if you're tellurium, it requires tellurium, but it only requires these two. If you're not in, you know what I mean. So if you can get graphene and refined metals, you can make whole parts. Whole parts are then used to make drone components, missile components, weapon components, and ships, and stations. Lots of stuff. So that's the real useful part there. So you saw that we also were trading silicon wafers. So silicon wafers, these are used to make smart chips, microchips, and scanning arrays. Scanning arrays, I believe, are needed to make ships, so engine parts and hull parts, events, composites, I think. I'm not sure. But you'll be able to find that if you go to the encyclopedia in-game, you can, after you've been to a few stations, you'll be able to look at, say, wares. I don't know if we have any yet. Oh, we see wares now. Oh, okay, we just literally have the category. How pointless. Okay. Okay, but the main point is we have this. And so you can look at this to find out what you should trade, and keep in mind that a lot of refined metals and graphene will be used to make whole parts, and a lot of whole parts will be used to make these other things that it connects to. The important part here is that because these are always being used, these markets, graphene and refined metals, are always in demand. And so that means that if you go graphene, refined metals, whole parts, and then have whole parts be sold all over the place, wharfs, shipyards, wherever, then you will pretty much have this entire system on lockdown of making money constantly. Because remember, the price of a specific good is on a station by station basis. So the more whole parts there is at a whole parts refactory, the less those whole parts sell for, supply versus demand. So what that really means is because everything needs whole parts are always in demand, and because they're always in demand, they sell for a nice amount most of the time. This really shouldn't change all that much unless you start flooding the market, which you can very easily do by mid-game. You can start hell, in early game, you can start flooding the market with energy cells. I don't recommend it, but you can. Your energy cells will start selling for like 9 apiece. So, but anyway, these guys, this is the graph you want. This is on EgoSoft's website. If you just search for, okay, so if you just search for X4 where's sheet or something like that, or where's graph, that'll bring you up to this website. And economy flowchart, and this has everything. It is the EgoSoft website, so it's probably not up. It may or may not be up to date, but it should be good enough to really do it for you. But all right, that's what I recommend. Silicon wafers, they sell for a ton, and really they only require silicon. Nvidium, you're going to use this in research, so this is something that you will most likely want to, and also this sells for a ton. This is a raw, all of these are raw resources. I think Nvidium is considered an ore, so you would mine this with a miner, a solids miner, and then you would sell it. But yeah, all right, guys, I think that's everything. Let me know if this has been useful to you, and I will catch you later. Bye, everyone.